It's a great day in every way, and I'm your host, Dr. Lotus Riché, and I am super duper happy to have you here with me today. I have got a sensational show for you tonight. And you know what? I know many of you are wondering, Dr. Lotus, you're talking about July, the Jubilee, Juneteenth, the dream. We have a dream that has definitely come true. And so I know many of you are wondering, Dr. Lotus, what dream? You have heard us talk to none other than the amazing poet, Dr. Yemaja Jubilee. She had this vision back in 2023 where she wanted to make sure that we were able to tell a bit about our history and to make the dream come alive. We talked also about the amazing Dr. Opally, who walked all the way from Texas to Washington, D.C. to make sure that the concept of Juneteenth became a federal holiday. And during that time, we were so amazingly blessed to meet a great group of young people. One, in fact, his name is Mr. George Gaston. He is an amazing young man with a zeal and an eye for documentary. And so, as you see below, George is a senior at Longwood University, and he's majoring in communication studies with a concentration in digital media. But not only is he doing that, he knows how to make great connections. And because of his great connections, Dr. Ryan Stouffer is here with us this evening as well. So with no further ado, I want to present to you a show that's going to help you see your way through to making sure your dreams stay alive. So as you come in, tag a friend and tell them we're hot on the box with Lotus Riché Ignites. I'll see you in a second.
Ignite your life, ignite your mind. Dr. Lotus Riché is powerful, empowering, engaging, and impactful. It's time to ignite and take flight in every area of your life. Welcome to the Lotus Riché Ignite Show. Let's get ignited.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. So I've given you time to tell your friends to come on in and get in where they fit in, because we've got a powerful show for you tonight. So with no further ado, I'm going to give this straight to you. Please welcome world-renowned author, speaker, poet, and CEO, Dr. Yemaja Jubilee, the founder of Bagel Shop Productions and the creator of the July Jubilee Juneteenth documentary, Mr. George Gaston. Please welcome the Associate Professor of Communication Studies at Longwood University, Dr. Ryan Stouffer. Oh, they're in the house tonight. Woo-hoo! Yes. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to the show. It's a great day in every way. I'm so happy that you're here today. So, Dr. Yemaja Jubilee, the dream has definitely come true. Woo! Thank you for being here. Talk to us. Say something to us. You're looking beautiful, by the way.
Thank you very, very much. And I graciously and humbly know that we have such a kaleidoscope of talents and gift among us through the students with the assistance of Dr. Stouffer and Longwood University. I have a heart filled with gratitude for the corporation of allowing this student, George, to come and work with us. And it just turned out marvelously because it was a dream. Now it's documented step by step how it started with all the aches, the pains, the ups, the downs, the twists, the turns. It's now manifested into this beautiful documentary, which a whole lot of people will be blessed by.
Yes, I'm absolutely loving it. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Jubilee. And of course, our documentary genius himself, Mr. George Gaston, is with us today. George, talk to us. Say hello to our viewers from all around the world.
Hello, Dr. Lotus. Thank you so much for having me back. It's so much fun being on this show every time. So I thank you again for having me. Giving me this platform to talk about some amazing work we've done together.
All right, fantastic. And I got to meet. So first, let me say, I can't say and. Let me say this first. George, when I saw you there at the viewing of our documentary, man, you're always so calm and cool and collected. But when you were showing that documentary, I watched you, your eyes were peeled. It was like you had seen it for the first time. And I would imagine you learn something new every time. And I got to tell you, Dr. Yemaja chose the right person when she chose you. But also, you being a part of Longwood University and Dr. Stouffer saying, okay, I'm going to support it. That was like the home run. So Dr. Stouffer, I want to welcome you to the show. Talk to us. Tell us a bit more about who you are and what you do.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. And I need you to make my intros for all my classes now. I love that. I will start every single class now with that intro here. So a little about myself. I'm in my 11th year here at Longwood, and one of my pleasures in teaching is our digital capstone storytelling class, which George just finished up here a little while ago. And so I actually want to give a shout out to Mr. Cole Pillow. He was the first student to connect me with Dr. Jubilee. Cole and Kendall Clapman worked with her, about 2 years ago now?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And so it was amazing getting to tell these stories here. And then so she called me, 9-10 months ago to tell me about this idea she had and to see if there was a student out there that could help tell this story. And then George just fit that bill. He had the talent, he had the drive, he had the enthusiasm, and he had the availability too. And so it was just happy to play a part in all this here. And I have to say, this is where it makes me so proud to be professors, when I get to see my students do things that resonate outside the classroom and have an experience and impact beyond the classroom here. And so I'm just happy to be a part of this and get to continue to connect students with the awesome Dr. Jubilee.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I just can't say enough about what you've done by helping young minds, because that's a part of what you do. You help young minds really explore their creativity. You help young minds see that there is hope, because you send that message out with everything you do every day. So I really want to thank you. And you said that you've been with the university for about 11 years. That's a long time to be in one place and being so connected with so many people. And so it's always a great thing that you can look down the road and say, hey, it's paying off. It's doing something. And for you to make a change, not just a change in the university, but a change in history.
Yes.
So that's pretty phenomenal. That's pretty phenomenal. So Dr. Yemaja, I heard Dr. Stouffer say some great things about you. So I want to give you the opportunity to tell the world what you think about Dr. Stouffer and why you guys are coming in. Come on in and tag a friend. So go ahead, Dr. Yemaja.
Well, one of the things, like he said about Cole and meeting those students when they were making a documentary about the stories untold of Twin Lakes, is when I met his students. And I took them to lunch, all right, to tell them my story. And I ended up helping them put everything together and made a lot of the contacts that they needed to put it together. And then that's how I learned about Dr. Stouffer's role. So, okay, here we go again. We need to be documented. So I just am grateful for the corporation and with his willingness to listen, because I call people, I call people and I ask for what it is that we need. And it is not about me. That's what, and he bought into the vision of what I was saying. He bought into it with his heart, and he bought into it because he knew that what we were doing was historical and it was going to make a difference in the area which we serve. And now we're expanding because we got more invitation to take this documentary other places. A lot of people are going to know what was not known because of him being a professor and his willingness to share his expertise. And George being the student, and I'm gonna get some more students for something else as well, okay? But it's just amazing the cooperation that they have. And I got a chance to be in their studio. They had a community program that they produced, and I met a lot of the students that he works with, that Dr. Stouffer works with, and he works so well together. He's not the kind of professor that I have had in school, because he cares, and I think it makes a difference when you care. You care, and when you care, you want the best for your students. You want them to gather all that they can under your leadership.
Yes, I agree. And wow, that is very profound. So, Dr. Stouffer, how do you feel, and what do you think? How do you feel, and what do you think when you hear Dr. Yemaja speak those words about you and to you?
I feel touched. I mean, we have that perception of what I think I'm doing and what impact I think I'm having on my students. And it's sometimes easy to lose track of that, right? There's so much noise out there and so much stuff, but to hear somebody else, witness that and witness the things that I really value in being an educator and that I want my students to take away, it's personally touching. It makes me warms my heart tremendously here. And I think that's what I mean, storytelling is a powerful tool. And there's so many different forms that occurs in here. And she mentioned the other programs, some other students I work with, and I want students to be able to tell stories and tell stories that matter. And I want them to feel empowered. I want to push them to be the best they could possibly be here, right? And that's what I value. I try to treat them as as I would want to be treated here. And and so it I don't know, it makes me somewhat speechless to hear somebody say that. So I'm very appreciative and thankful, and very proud of so many students who have gotten to do so many different opportunities here, right? And so yeah.
Awesome, fantastic. And so, George, being a student at Longwood and being a person that has been directly impacted by Dr. Stouffer, by Dr. Yemaja, because really right now, your career is already taken off, because not everyone that or even in the school can say that they've done a documentary that is historical and that will continue to make history, because we know that there's going to be a museum built in 2026, if I'm not mistaken. And 9 times out of 10, your documentary is going to be a part of that. So I'd like you to talk about how it feels, what you feel, and what you think about being mentored, if you will, and supported by Dr. Stouffer. And what would you say to your fellow students that are in Longwood? What would you say to them as far as living their dreams and not giving up? George?
Yeah, I mean, this whole thing started with Dr. Stouffer coming up to me after one of our digital storytelling classes and saying, hey, I met this person. She reached out to me about an opportunity. I'll forward you what she sent me. Read over it. Let me know if you're interested. Pretty much immediately, I was like, there's something special going on here. Like, just from that email that I read that Dr. Yemaja had written to Dr. Stouffer, I could tell that there was something special, that they really needed us a voice to tell that story. And I found myself in a really fortunate position to be able to say yes and be the one to tell that story and talk to so many incredible people. So like, it really shows that stories at this caliber don't get to be told without collaboration and without, passing the reins off to someone else and just reaching out to people. And man, have I learned so much about just how to reach out to people from Dr. Yemaja. Like, she just has this gift of just being able to meet new people and get in touch with them and just collect them into a cause. It's a beautiful, beautiful gift that she has. So, and Dr. Stouffer has really, truly been there all along throughout this whole process. And he really is one of those few professors that cares so deeply. And maybe that got lower when, at 1 a.m, I would send him an hour-long rough cut, and I was like, hey, please watch this as quickly as you can. Did that over and over and over so many times. So, he's seen every cut that was put together, and he's given extremely detailed and good feedback through every step of the way. So the final documentary that's out now is, it wouldn't be possible, and the story wouldn't be as tight as it is without him. So I thank him daily for everything he did for that. As far as like what I would want like future students to know, I think that it can be a little scary to jump in and tell a story that at the beginning you have no idea what it is. I think, looking back to George back in November, I think, was when I first heard about this, last November. So it's been a year now since I first heard about this opportunity. I knew what Juneteenth was. I didn't know as many specifics as I know now, but I knew what the holiday was, and I knew that there was a celebration happening, but that was all I knew. And so it took a little bit of dive off the diving board into the deep end, and let's learn, and then let's tell that story to others. So I'd love for, fellow students to be able to jump into the cold water without looking and be open to exploring new topics. Dr. Stouffer talks all the time about how we are in a field that is so interesting because you get to learn so many things. I mean, you mentioned this the other day that like we went to a historic mansion here in the town of Farmville to go film. What other profession would you have found yourself at this old rundown mansion that, is closed off to the public? So just one example of many, but we find ourselves in very interesting spots where it becomes our responsibility to learn as much as we can in order to properly tell a full story. And so for any future Longwood or any other storytellers out there, push yourself and research and do as much as you can and find a topic you're interested about and tell a story that is honest and powerful.
I love it. And I hope that you all are taking notes, because this is something that is going to help change your life forever. Okay. And I want to thank you to all of our awesome guests and all of our viewers out there. We couldn't do this without you. We couldn't tell this story. And I want to say, Dr. Stouffer, you talked about telling stories, and there's a gentleman named Michael Margolis. He said that the stories we tell literally make the world. If you want to change the world, you need to change your story. And I thought that was really powerful because for so long, there was a different story told in that environment. But both of you have been able to help change the narrative, to show the story for what it is. And you've offered an opportunity. And Laura Holloway said, storytelling offers the opportunity to talk with your audience, not at them. And so you both were able to help us open up a conversation with the community. And that's huge.
That's huge.
Because these conversations will not just stop in the community or stop at Longwood. It's pervasive. We're on a show right now. Once we transfer this over, this is going to be in 400,000 homes. So you've been able to open up that dialogue so we could have a conversation. I want to thank you personally, all three of you, for that, because without the vision, there wouldn't have been a mission. Without the mission, there wouldn't have been action to help us to reach our goal. So I really, really appreciate that. And so I wanted to say also that we've had so many people share some songs and just share so many amazing things with us. And so we're going to take a quick break and we're going to come back. And when we come back, we're going to hear from Dr. Jubilee, because there's something happening this coming week. And we want to know all the secret sizzling sauce about it. We'll be right back.
Like sun to the day, we are light and we shine forevermore. The Black History Song. Stream now on your major music platform.
impactful and empowering. Ignite Your Life for Life Virtual Summit coming your way December 2024. Stay tuned.
All right, and we are back. And for those of you that are just joining us and hit the replay, let us know that you hit the replay and let us know you're here. And you've come at a great time if you're just showing up. I've got the incomparable Dr. Yemaja Jubilee. She is the poet with the mostest. And of course, our documentary sensational genius, Mr. George Gaston. And of course, we've got Dr. Ryan Stouffer, who helps to make dreams come true by inspiring all the students at Longwood University. So, Dr. Yemaja, we want to know what's coming up next. So a little birdie told me you've got something coming up with the book. So
yes.
Tell us about that.
Well, when we started this journey, and again, another idea came that it needs to be documented because I am a writer, I am an author, and it needs to be put in. Well, it started out as a book that got so long, and then I woke up one morning around 2:30, said, no, you just need to get that kaleidoscope of people that are on the team to write stories that will be in a book. And we will have a book signing on Sunday at Unity of Bon Air. I can't, whether you can see it's The Dream Came True. Connect, communicate, and collaborate. And Reverend Patty Bittner at Unity of Bon Air, Richmond, Virginia, has given me the opportunity. And Thea Paul, whose song you just played with Thea Paul, call it. She's going to be with me on stage, and I'm going to be singing one of my original songs. Okay, and she is she will be behind me, and also another person that is in the book. Oh, Thea's in the book, Jarifa's in the book, and Deborah was a part of the program. So the book tells a story of how each person's journey was in bringing all of this to fruition, plus my own poetry, because I put my poetry in it as well to start it and to end it. And we will have a book signing at 12 p.m. at 923 Buford Road. It will be after church service, and people can purchase the book on the spot. If not, you can go to Amazon.com and put in Dr. Yemaja Jubilee, The Dream Came True, and you can purchase it there. All right. But the book was a process as well. You know, everything takes time, just like to make it come to where I wanted it to be. And I've never written something in 3 months, but it was a lot of work, but I knew that it would be well worth it because it needs to be documented. See, I believe in documentation because you can go back years from now, and I am making my own legacy here, all right? And build it and making sure that people remember my daddy's legacy and the 1390 Black Battalion legacy by bringing that to the forefront, bringing it all to the forefront. And it's documents, series like this, plus the book, that they can read it and they can see it. And Lotus, let me repeat this because George and I had a brief discussion. I've already got 3 places that want to premiere, that want to see the documentary in February already lined up. All right. I got 3 already that want to see this documentary. And of course, George will be there. And these are in my dad's hometown. And so we'll go and we'll take it there as well. So these are people that have no idea what Juneteenth is or who Dr. Opal is. Yep. A lot of them don't even know. So they will get to see through the lens of Dr. George, and through the book will be on sale, and we're going to take it further. Plus, one of my friends in Texas is recommending that she's going to recommend to Dr. Opal that she brings me to Texas for a book signing. All right. That she brings me down there for a book signing. And I know, you know, I'm saying all that because wherever I go, it's not about Dr. Yemaja Jubilee. I take everything with me. There you go. You got it. The dream came true. So we're doing all that we can to honor our ancestors and to make sure that everybody knows, because when you think of Prince Edward County, Green Bay, Virginia, Farmville, Virginia, and all the history that has went on over there with doing, doing segregation and everything, and with Longwood University being a part of that. See, that's a whole nother story for the way that, and this has impacted my life. So it's showing the change in the community. But like Dr. Oprah Lee always said, one person can make a difference, whatever you get. So you can write it, you can say it, and you can pass it on. And that's how your audience can just pass on these things so that they can be educated about the history of Prince Edward County, this man from Charlotte County who was so poor, my dad, one of 14 children. All that stuff is being documented and taken forward.
And if I may say, the book is very affordable, only $19.99. You can get your book today, and just go ahead, not only get your book, but also get a copy for someone that you know, like, and care about, because this is a work of art. First and foremost, it's a work of art, but also not only is it a work of art, it's a history book, because we're sharing the history of how things came about. And you don't want to miss this opportunity to have this in your library, because it's going to change your life and someone else's life that you know. So please share this with your friends and your family and the rest of your network.
Make a great Christmas gift, right? Christmas.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. So get your copy today. Awesome. Fantastic. So with that being said, I want to kind of go back, because I'll never forget the day when I saw the journey on the silver screen. Okay. I say the silver screen, right? I never forget that day. So I want to go first to you, Dr. Stouffer, because your genius and whatever God energy came to mind, you had the zeal to say, hey, listen, I want you to connect with someone, and I want you to help them. When you saw the documentary, tell me how that impacted you.
I think I had seen it, and I'd worked with George kind of all summer on it. So I'd seen iterations of it through the summer. And so I'd seen it pretty close to a final copy. But I think the thing that got me most on that day was the event itself. George had told me the time of day, and I'm like, okay, I'm there, no problem. I walk in, just kind of expecting, a premiere of the documentary, maybe a few words. And I see a full choir in there. I see multiple musicians in there.
Yes.
I see,
Yes.
Kevin from the Twin Lake State Park was there, right? Other people I had seen in the documentary. I believe your nephew, right, Dr. Jubilee, who I'd seen in the other documentary. And so, the event itself just kind of blew my mind for one, just because I was not expecting it to be a full-on production here. And then I think the most exciting, honestly, this is only the third time I've had the pleasure of getting to watch any of my students' work being shown in front of an audience that wasn't something I put together. And so getting to watch an outside audience that has never seen it before, and their reaction, I think, is the most amazing thing. Yeah. I was actually sitting next to George's mom, and a few times I noticed her kind of wiping a few tears from her eyes there as she watched it. And so between that and then the audience reaction, it's like this is my dream, right? This is what I dream about here is watching my students' success. And so getting to see that all come together on top of the event that Dr. Jubilee had put on, I was just proud, impressed, and then just happy for George to get to see the audience. I love the fact, right, we all stood up and give George a rounding stand ovation at the beginning of the credits. And then, of course, we have to watch the credits, right? And so then the credits kind of play at the end, and then we all have to stand up again because now it's officially over, right? We had a premature standing ovation here. So I think proud, happy, and just joyful. And I know how much work he put in He was not kidding about those hour-long rough cuts here. I watched all of them, especially a few in the summer, which I did groan about a little bit here. But again, happy to see the progress. And then, so I know how much time and effort he put into. And I think it's interesting here too, because it was part of the class that George had to continue working on past the class to finish the documentary because of the time of it all. And so I think the class, that's the one thing I hope some of your colleagues that were in storytelling with you, George, get to see it, because I know they'd be incredibly proud of you too.
Yeah, I have a few things I want to respond to there, but I'll mention Jacob Holloway, who also made a phenomenal film about the Moton Museum, which I want to bring up something about the Moton here shortly as well. But Jacob Holloway's seen it, Kate Fry's seen it, Annabelle Jennings has seen it. So there's a good little cohort from that class who have seen it, and they also provided some feedback along the way as well. They saw some of the rough cuts, so a big shout out to them for everything they did. You mentioned showing it in front of an audience, and Dr. Stouffer knows this, but for the viewers and you two, I actually spent this past weekend up in Charlottesville at a 72-hour film festival. So me and a couple of colleagues spent 72 hours writing a script, casting actors, filming and editing a 5-minute short film. And we didn't sleep much. We slept probably less than you think we would have slept, and it was beautifully creative and amazing experience. But the ending of that was everyone involved in it, there's 12 teams. We all showed our films to each other and to an audience of people could buy tickets and come in. And there's a lot of mentors throughout this process who helped us, gave us great advice, learned more than I have ever learned over a period of 3 days. And the amazing Jeff Wadlow, who was one of the mentors there, was speaking before the film started playing and said, look around and understand that this is what filmmaking is about, is showing your films to an audience. So you can spend your whole life making a film, but if that story doesn't connect with people and people don't watch your film, then you've missed the point somewhere. So I thank you, Dr. Yemaja, for hosting such an awesome and unexpected premiere. That choir was amazing. What was the name of the choir again? Remind me.
Tanner Sharp, and I got to think of what is Tanner Sharp. He was Tanner Sharp from Lynchburg, Virginia.
Yeah.
Yes.
Breathtaking. Yes. They were all so good. So yeah,
High Praise. That's the name. Tanner Sharp and High Praise.
High Praise. Yes.
Yeah. And I got their CD. I got their CD, and I'll have to give them some praise on the show a little bit later, and also have them on the show. But I want to thank you for all what you said, because it is life changing, and to see it on the screen, amazing. And so we have folks from the CD is See You Through, okay? See You Through, and Tanner Sharp and the High Praise. So if you don't have this CD, go out and get it. And if you don't know how to get it, DM me or DM anybody up here, or really DM Dr. Yemaja. She'll hook you up, okay? She'll hook you up.
One thing that I want to interject about putting together that premiere was the climax of all of this, and it needed to say something, be something with a bang, okay?
Yes.
And it needed to be out there in a way that somebody would do it if they were in Hollywood, as best that we could. And what I want to give a shout out to Judith Campbell, all right, at Longwood University, and to Matthew. I forget what Matthew's last name is, but he's a part of the staff that when I call, see Longwood, I had to brag about Longwood, okay? Because again, George and I were talking about, George said, oh, we're going to do this, this, and this, and this. And, oh, we're going to do this, this, and this. Well, my mind was not there with that. Not that he could do it the way he wanted to, but I saw this as putting the icing on the cake, all right? But to have an audience, and we had to do it with a bang. And to show you how everybody was committed, Longwood did not charge the first dollar for the use of their facilities. They did not. And I want to tell you, Tanner Sharp cut his fee way, way, way down, came from Lynchburg and did that. And then we had Sharon who gave commentary.
Yes.
And then we had Cameron Patterson, who was from Longwood, to give commentary. And of course, we had Steve Williams from the National Juneteenth. All of this was put together with strategies. Okay.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
George could have his day.
Yes. And had his day, he did. And I have all the way from Nigeria, Africa, Miss Goshwi Semji. It's great to see you here. We've got Chris Gaston in the house. Chris said, it's true. Plenty of us cried watching the documentary, and that choir was rocking. Yes. And so I want to take this opportunity to share with you all just a little bit, because she's not going to tell you this, but I'm going to tell you this. Dr. Yemaja Jubilee, you have been on a couple of shows actually talking about the event. And so I want to take a moment to just play a little piece of this, because they won't let us play a lot of it, but we want to play a little piece of this interview.
Celebration in Twin Lakes in the Prince Edward, used to be the old dance hall that my daddy had built. All right. And I honored my father, Reverend Dr. John Henry Brown, at the first Juneteenth. I put together the whole program around having Juneteenth made the way that it was supposed to be put on, because I had watched what people were doing as an observation. They needed to do something else. So what happened was, after that celebration that night, I went to bed. And I had a dream. I had a dream that I was walking barefoot on the shores of Twin Lakes on that side of the lake, and I was hugging Dr. Opal Lee.
And so it's without question that it's powerful. And without all the people that supported you, like Reverend Georgia Johnson, David Simpson, Ernest Dean, Professor Rory Boyd from Virginia State University, Tanner Sharp and the High Praise, of course, George Gaston, Steve Williams, President, National Juneteenth Observance Foundation, Sharon Simpson, Founder Director, Kumba Dance Ensemble Incorporated, Cameron Patterson, Vice President for Student Affairs, Longwood University, Mayor LeVar Stoney, Richmond, Virginia, Dr. Yemaja Jubilee, of course, and so many, many, many others. But most importantly, the Most High. And also Dr. John Henry Brown.
Yeah. And one other person.
Harris Brown.
And one other person.
Go ahead. Please go ahead.
I want to, thank you for allowing me. But the artist that created the cover of the book and the photographer, I have to, it was a whole lot of people. Baba Ra painted the cover of the book from a download that I got. I had drew it in crayons. I drew that in crayons, okay? And I gave it to him, and he painted it. And that was on display. Also the Sankofa bird that's in there as well. And then Frank, the photographer, took all the pictures and everything that's in the book. So it wasn't, this was, we connected, we communicated, and we collaborated. And this is the end result. And the message that I want to leave with people is, you can't do nothing by yourself. All right?
That's right.
You can start it out with a vision, but you have to reach out to people. And some people didn't believe that this was going to happen. Okay? And I have to give credit to Kenneth Hodges. My dad mentored this man that got the finances to bring Dr. Opal Lee here. And he is H&M Logan in South Boston, Virginia. We gave him the first John Henry Brown Humanitarian Award, because without him, we wouldn't have had money to even do the event with. All right. So there's a whole lot of people, and I don't want to leave people. And of course, Deacon George Smith and Patricia Harper. It was a lot of people, and Mayor Wanda, all of those people came together. Yes. So as you can see, Longwood, there's a lot of people that came together, and look what we did.
Yep. And so I want to interject and say, I'm calling all of you all into action. Anyone that had anything to do with the project, I'm calling you into action. Share this broadcast. Students of Longwood, share this broadcast and support your team members. Support their dreams. of doing documentaries or films or anything else in life. Support yourselves. And I want to also talk about this right here that was created by none other than George Gaston. So if you want one, contact George Gaston. Okay, go to www.bagelshop.productions and check them out. But before we leave you, I want to call you also into another moment of action. I want you to stay connected. I'd like you to go right here, go to Bagel Shop Productions, and you can go to Bagel Shop Productions. The information is right there. Go there and subscribe, because we're going to share a little bit about you with you from the documentary. But if you want to see the rest of it, you're going to have to go to Bagel Shop Productions and make it so. So without further ado, I want to share this amazing clip from the documentary, if I may. Okay, so hold tight. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back with a short clip from the Bagel Shop Productions. Nobody could do it better. Nobody could do it better. Here we go. But let's have some music first.
Like sun to the day, we are light and we shine forevermore. The Black History Song. Stream now on your major music platform.
Kind of started right here a little bit. Let's go right here.
I've ever been the executive producer of and the director of. I was staying in one of the lodges and I had a dream. And that's how this product, the Oprah Lee Project, Juneteenth July Jubilee, came about in a dream that I had.
A friend of mine, a high school graduate here also, named Dr. Yemaja Jubilee. She contacted me after she had had a Juneteenth program at Twin Lakes in Prince Edward County, Virginia. And the first one that she had was to help recognize her father. And she celebrated that about a year ago down at Twin Lakes. And as a result of that, she got an idea that she would do another one. And she contacted me. I think I was the first one she spoke to and asked, would I be interested in helping her to promote that? And in the same vein, she said, I'd like to get Dr. Oprah Lee to come and be our guest speaker. And I'm going, wow, that's a mighty lofty idea you have there.
I absolutely like that. He said it was a lofty idea. It was lofty, but you were able to make it come true. You were able to make it come true.
And that's because people believed in. We had a vision team to start off with Dr. Sandra Campbell of Kansas City, Missouri. She's over the urban school at Unity Village. She told me when I told her about it, you have to have a vision team. All right.
Exactly.
So we put and Reverend Cheryl Fair and Reverend Georgia Johnson put that together. They were the first ones to open up on Friday night, and they're the first story in the book to hold the vision. And I do feel like when I keep talking about this kaleidoscope, I gotta, and you know, I went to people like you. There were people that came to the table in this process and came to 2 meetings and said, "Oh no, this is not gonna happen." They left.
And also, you had the Rangers there.
Creation opportunities. So,
Yes.
building dams to create lakes for recreation, putting in trails, controlling wildfires to protect the local communities, planting trees, things like that. Because it was well before the Civil Rights Act, all those companies were also segregated. And so the company that built Lake State Park, the 1390th, was an all-black battalion of the CCC. John Henry Brown was a member of that company.
I absolutely love it. Just a moment in time. So with that being shared, I just want to say thank you to everyone that was a part of this film. And I'm going to show a little more, but of course I can't show too much because they'll take the broadcast down. But George, you just had a great eye. And here is Mr. Kenneth Hodges.
I worked with Mr. John Brown for approximately 12 to 15 years. And then I went out to helping other companies cut wood as a timber contractor. Well, I've been knowing Dr. Jubilee a long time. When I met her father, I met her. I've been knowing her quite some time. And she asked me, I came to one of the events at the park at the lake where they had for Mr. John Brown, which is her father. And they gave him a memorial for the good that he did when he was working as a young man with he helped build the park.
So it's without a doubt that your father helped build a park, he helped build lives, and he helped bridge cultural gaps.
Yes.
And so I can't wait for the 17th to come for you to share the book and for you to share more. So, George, will you be showing the documentary again, or will, what's next for the documentary and what's next for the book and thereafter? Because I know it's not going to stop here. So I'm going to go to George first. I want to know about the documentary, and then Dr. Stouffer, I want to go to you. What's next? What else are you going to do to push this project forward? And then Dr. Yemaja, we'll leave off with you. George?
Yeah. So things like this, not only does the plot and the story itself start to take on a life of its own, but after it's put out into the wild, it also takes on a life of its own, depending on who catches a wind of it and who enjoys it. So, like Dr. Yemaja had actually said earlier, she'd called me earlier today. I was unfortunately in a bit of a rush, so we didn't get to flush things out at the time. But she had said that she has 3 local places that are interested in screening it sometime during Black History Month next year. So we're going to be working with them to get something going. And Dr. Yemaja, I haven't told you this, but today I was at the Moat Museum, and I ran into Kanan Townsend there, who hasn't seen the film yet, but he's very interested in it. And he said that he would be interested in talking about a possible screening at the Moat Museum here in Farmville. So those are some things that we're looking at definitely having done. At the premiere, Dr. Stouffer leaned over to me and he said, we're not done here. We need to submit this to some festivals. So we are currently searching for some festivals around the country to see if anything will fit the bill and be willing to show this film to others. If any of the viewers, actually, if you guys know of any film festivals that you think would be willing to watch the film and consider it in a festival anywhere in the world, really, please feel free to reach out. You can find me on basically any socials at George Gaston. So I'm happy to talk to anyone about any screenings they're looking to do, or if you know of any festivals anywhere in the world that you think this could fit well into.
Well, definitely, George, I have a couple options for you, and I'll be talking to you all about that as well. So, Dr. Stouffer, talk to us.
So, yeah, that's what I always encourage my students to do. I say nothing probably drives me more nuts when they leave their semester-long senior capstone projects unlisted on YouTube, because like the whole purpose of creating these stories is so that you can get them out there and you can hopefully touch people and change people's perceptions, right? Representation matters here. So, yeah, I want to work with George a little bit on his specifically to find a place where we can take it, a festival, something like that. So we'll work on that one for that challenge for this one. And then personally, I'll have another section of senior storytelling here in the spring. So if anybody out there has a story that wants to partner with us, I know we're going to try to work with Dr. Jubilee again in some other form. I'm always happy. I think there's nothing more valuable than making connections with the community, because I'm pretty sure George will agree with me. I mean, this is this is going to be a life-changing experience for him, and he will always have a connection to Dr. Jubilee. And I just want to see that network grow so more people can have connections to her and people like her, and we can tell more stories out there. So we'll be back in the spring. So if you want to partner with us, you want to start with somebody and want to work on that story, please find me.
All right. Fantastic. I'm absolutely loving it. And finally, Dr. Jubilee, talk to us.
Well, as George was saying, and I said earlier, we have 3 commitments in Black History Month for the screening of this film. And one is at Shiloh Baptist Church, Drakes Branch, Virginia, which was my mother's church. And they are doing it for Black History Month on February the 2nd, the first Saturday in February. We will be there, and the book will be on sale there, and we will screen it there. Then Reverend Raymond Roberts, who was on our team, will be screening it at Mount Airy Baptist Church the last Sunday in February, and also the book will be on sale. So the documentary will be there, plus the book. And the other space for it is the art space here in Richmond. I got a call last night. They want Thea Paul is a member of the art space, and she was on our team, and she wants to bring it there for students to screen. So that's going to be also on February. I think it's February the 21st or 22nd. The 21st or the 26th on a Friday. George, I'll get it to you. But those are the 3 things that I've already gotten. And so, I know I'll be getting more. But right now, that's what I got right now. And one of the things that I had to be cognizant of is the fact that I want to make sure that people be able to have a discussion afterwards. All right. And people reaching out and everything and asking about it, we'll be glad to come here in the local area. And if I hear anything, like I told you, there was a lady from one of my friends from Texas. I mean, it's out and they loved it. She's from Texas. She's on the Freedom Day. She's head of the Freedom Day Advisory Board, which I'm now a member of. So I will use every connection that I have to promote it. And it's looking like I don't even have to reach out because people are reaching out to me. So
That's right. That's right. And so with no further ado, we definitely want to bring it to Washington, D.C. and to Virginia, various parts of Virginia, also Baltimore. So if you have a school, if you have a venue or something where you want to see this astonishing documentary and to share it with people, not just here in the United States, but all around the world, please reach out to me, connect with me, and we can get this to happen. Okay. We can't wait to share this amazing documentary with you. When I say it's life-changing, it is life-changing. So with no further ado, we're going to hear our final words of wisdom for the show. Hello, Dr. Sheena. Dr. Sheena's in from Brooklyn, New York, or upstate New York. Good to see you. Happy to have you here. And so with no further ado, we're going to go with the final words of wisdom. We're going to start with you, let's start with Dr. Stouffer. Dr. Stouffer, let's hear your final words of wisdom for this evening. What would you say to all those that are watching us as we made the dream come true for the Jubilee, Juneteenth?
I think you need to work hard. You need to make the right connections, and you need to find a team that supports you. And I think if you see that, you could see that in the whole event itself. I think you can see that in George's documentary, that they trusted each other, they worked hard, and they didn't give up, and great things will happen. So keep working hard, and great things will come true.
Yes. Awesome. And don't forget, we're going right to you, Dr. Jubilee. You're next. Go ahead. Talk to us.
Dream it, sleep on it, pray on it, get up and get on it. Connect, communicate, and collaborate for the highest good of all humanity. That's my word.
And don't forget to get your book. It's only $19.99. It can help your life and blow your mind. That's what I said. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Get your book today. And Mr. George, talk to us.
Well, first, I want to say please go watch the film if you haven't already. You can go to our website, www.bagelshop.productions, and you can click and watch the film right there. So please go watch it. I highly encourage you to watch it. I think that it's important to push yourself out of your comfort zone as much as you can. I think we don't grow as people if we find ourselves too comfortable for too long. So say yes to opportunities that come your way, even if you're maybe a little concerned or you're scared of something new. Say yes. Say yes and allow yourself to be scared, but then allow yourself to learn, to meet new people, to grow, and hopefully end up teaching others along the way.
That's right.
Yep, I absolutely love it. And so, with no further ado, I want to share this wonderful moment with you. Here we are. Many of you may have not met Dr. Jubilee, the woman who walked all the way from Texas to help be a part of this and make this happen. And so if you're not familiar with Dr. Jubilee, please go to the bagel shop and check this out.
And there's the part of the Juneteenth where there are booths. You learn to buy a house. You learn to straighten up your credit. You learn to go to college. You learn where scholarships are. All of this is part of the Juneteenth. And I'm so delighted that people are taken to it. But in Fort Worth, we have ties that make us feel that we are going to build the National Juneteenth Museum right there in Fort Worth. Fort Worth, where the West begins. We feel like that the people in that area would be the ones to spread the word about how enslaved were freed. And so we have a $70 million museum plan. What we've done is raise some $33 million right in Fort Worth. So when I go out, I'm asking people for money. And we are going to open June 2026.
And so June 2026 is when it's coming your way. And until then, we expect to see you there looking on YouTube, subscribing to YouTube, and following this amazing, amazing journey, because we're not finished yet. So until we see you again, be blessed, don't stress, always do your best, and don't take no mess as you ignite and take flight in every area of your life. Don't forget, get your copy. And until we see you again, be blessed. And don't forget, watch us on Facebook. Thank you for watching the show. And remember, always follow us on Facebook. Like and share, and make sure you tag a friend and let them know that you care. Let us know what other type of shows you'd like us to present for you. Thank you for watching the show, and follow us on YouTube. Ring that bell so you don't miss a thing. See you on the next episode of the Lotus Riché Ignites Show, where we're helping you to ignite and take flight in every area of your life. If you want to be a guest on the show, please connect with us at lotus@lotusricheignitesyou.com. Ignite your mind and ignite your life.